Hello and welcome to Thames Reports. We focus first tonight on the acid house craze. If you read the popular press or listen to the politicians, your mind is probably made up already. These parties are said to be linked with drug taking or worse. They're in breach of local authority licensing regulations, and besides, they keep the home counties awake at night. But is that the whole truth? Don't young people who want to party have rights as well? And if it's young people prevented from doing their thing today, couldn't it be the rest of us tomorrow? As police pressure to stamp out the acid house craze intensifies, Marcus Powell and a Thames Reports team spent Saturday night on the party trail.
Sunday morning, 1 a.m. Hundreds of party seekers are stopped by a police roadblock for fleet services on the M3. Police action had blocked the route to another secret, unofficial party. Would-be ravers were going nowhere.
Residents of Hampshire say, no, Hampshire Constabulary, we don't want these people having parties in our area. It disturbs our weekend. So I'm in that difficult situation of sorting out whether you should go on, because the acid house party is an unlawful type party.
Why is that? Why is
that? Because you have to have clarification from the local authority and all the rest of it.
I've been going, I tell you, Mate, I've been going every week for 2 years now. I guarantee I'm one every week. I'm not just saying that, I do. So I've never seen any violence started by any of these youngsters here who just want to dance. If there's ever any violence started, it's started by them. And you'll all agree with me, won't you? Let the people dance! Let the people dance!
Hours later, a few hundred ravers did find the party in a warehouse 40 miles further on in Andover. Hundreds more had turned back or simply given up. This is Acid House. Mesmerising electronic music. There are always drugs about, but dancing till dawn's the main buzz. It's the biggest youth cult since punk. Outside, another confrontation. Party organisers are now employing lawyers to try to defend their rights.
Well, they have no permission to be in this building.
Well, I've seen a signed lease.
Well, this is the builder of the premises. He hasn't even signed over the premises to anybody.
Well, I have...
It is still under construction.
Well, that's not the impression that my clients were given, and they certainly paid an amount of money to rent this building, and they've got a lease signed by who they say is the owner.
And who do they say is the owner?
Well, I haven't got the documents, so I'll go back and come back with them.
If you do so, please.
So, and your name is?
The party craze is surrounded by legal uncertainty. Do people have a right to party? Do they need a licence? Do ravers have the right to travel there? But even with legal help, there's no guarantee of success. While some party-goers are held behind police lines, the arguments go on. Here, the disputes over the validity of the organiser's lease.
Signed, sealed and delivered.
The police were still not convinced. Solicitor John Wadham later found himself arrested on suspicion of burglary and criminal damage.
This is the term. 23rd October.
He was subsequently released. Meanwhile, other ravers barricaded themselves inside using a truck. The government intends to strengthen its own defences against parties, proposing prison for organisers, confiscating assets and tougher penalties for breaking public order and noise control, more powers for the police. Because of pressure from politicians, the press and public, the police have now logged details of over 1,000 party helpers on computer at a special intelligence unit in Gravesend.
This weekend, Mr. Jessup. 19 so far, sir.
I mean, that's the last that we have.
They're keeping tabs on party organisers throughout London and the South East.
He says that his location is going to be in an area where the sound won't affect people, but go upwards.
It's from here they're coordinating the crackdown.
John Gillis from
Certainly as far north as the East Midlands.
They admit they're up against an informal army with a communications network which matches their own. It may even be better.
I'm just wondering if any sort of updates at all. Not all of them, yeah. Only the ones that we've been approached for. Those that we can definitely link in with being concerned with acid house parties that we're actually looking at.
As this war hots up, only half the parties organised ever take place. At one party, which was stopped by Essex police, guns were found, confirming their suspicions that organised crime is already heavily involved.
We've got some very sinister undertones now. We've got crime involved, drug taking, alcohol taking, major crime organisers muscling in on the profits. They have to be controlled. There's going to be a disaster sooner or later. Somebody's going to get killed, if not a number of people. If we ignore the signs, then I think we'd be very, very unwise.
Has the lighting arrived yet? Lasers? Yeah, okay.
Promoters carry on regardless.
I should be with you in about half an hour. The meeting point's all sorted out, yeah.
Patrick Prendergast is still trying to keep a step ahead of the police. Behind him and all the other fashionable frontmen, there are financial backers with more muscle than morals. Now he's off to record a commercial to advertise another party.
Hello Ravers, sorry about Saturday, but we were stopped by the police without injunction and unnecessary force. We're going again this weekend, power to the Ravers, search of Space 89.
In this shadowy world, beyond the law, pirate radio stations are the only ones to play the music and advertise the raves.
Still doing it on the acid house scene. We're going to go for a quick ad break. We will be back on the other side.
This is the information source for partygoers, where phone numbers for meeting points are given out. Party organisers like these know that this big, tax-free business is under increasing threat from police action. A party which could raise £1 million was planned this weekend, although it failed to take place. The risks are as high as the rewards.
They're supposed to have injunctions to shut us down. They had nothing, absolutely nothing. They come straight in there. As soon as they knew what to do, they said, right, you're closed down.
What started out as a mere game, cops and robbers between police and promoters, has now turned pretty nasty.
Police take off in Surrey on Saturday afternoon in search of the secret locations where parties could be held. They're set up at the last minute.
Over to the left-hand side there, in the distance. A load of warehouses, obviously now the industrial side.
Yes, that looks a good possible target.
It's tucked out of the way. Got a couple of cars outside. We've had reports of two circus-type articulated vehicles coming up the motorway. Bearing in mind the trouble we had at Reigate a few weeks ago.
But they didn't find anything. Later at midnight, party people are just getting started. For Lisa, it's time to go out and meet friends. The party meeting point is 30 miles outside London. When she got there, she was held up with hundreds of others at the M3 service station. Cars were jammed back onto the motorway.
Has this ruined your evening?
Oh yeah, really, because it's 2:30, and yet again, nobody's got anywhere. Another week.
Any chance of getting to the party, do you think?
I don't know. Everybody seems to know where it is, but whether it's just going to be another hold-up like this. So, but we're going to try.
Cars were stopped. Vans were all searched.
Those orders, you're liable to arrest. Is that understood?
Right. Served on this gentleman.
Section 14 under the Public Order Act 1986.
And what does that prevent him from doing?
Prevents him from organising and being involved in such an organisation in the future where it's likely to cause a breach of the peace, and he is liable to arrest.
Are you worried that he was carrying soft drinks? Is that likely to cause a breach of the peace?
The fact that he's part of the organisation, which causes breach of the peace in various parts of the country.
The ravers were frustrated, not violent. They believed their rights were being infringed. This is the party patrol, standing firm until 3 a.m. It wasn't just the ravers who felt the police were acting illegally.
How long are they going to hold for? Till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Do you think the police are justified in this type of action?
No. I don't think they should impede the people on the Queen's Highway.
It seems to me that if they are trying to stop and search people as a matter of routine, they would not be able to justify it in terms of their limited powers they have, and they would therefore be acting illegally.
So people could perhaps take court action.
Certainly people could take court action. They'd certainly be entitled to sue the police for damages, and possibly they could go to court and obtain an order which would force the police to allow them to carry on to the party.
Eventually, some of them did party. Patrick made it. Lisa got there too at about 4 in the morning. The party ended some 4 hours later. Then the police moved in to confiscate equipment and make 28 arrests. Everyone was later bailed and released. So far, there have been no charges. Police and ravers thought the evening a success.
The police have minimised the problems of this because we have put on outer checkpoints. We have stopped those people who wanted to attend this unlawful event from attending. We have only 400 to 500, perhaps 600 people inside, and the organisers expected thousands.
What's the attraction, really? Because hours stuck in motorway service stations held up by the police.
Because eventually you know you could, well, these days you don't know if you're going to get somewhere, but when you get somewhere you know it's going to be as good as that.